What's going on, Culturevators? We're here on another episode. We got a special guest with us, Versa Tweezy, please believe me. We got our regulars in the building, HB, Coakley, and your boy Christian. So we're going to get into it immediately. Verse, welcome.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me, man.
Hey, we appreciate you. We've been wanting to have you for a while. It's just, you know.
Timing is everything.
Exactly. Timing is everything.
Of course. Gotta big you guys up, firsthand because this is a new movement. In Samaritan we've come a long way in terms of production and everything like that. And I gotta big you guys up on Culturevate one time.
Hey, appreciate it. So the first thing we're gonna get into, we noticed that you quietly went from North Island Records to Quality Records, right? Quality Records.
Yeah.
Why the change, and how come it was like a silent move?
Well, actually, the change came about because initially we had plans to, me and the fiance, Quality Records belongs to us.
Okay, that's your label.
Yeah, it's we thing.
Okay.
You understand? And initially we had plans to move, especially after the hurricane and everything, but personal reasons, like, with my side of the family and everything like that, faced some setbacks and everything like that. So we said, okay, let me hold that off. And I already went and approached Skelet, and me and Skelet always have a brotherhood and a talk, I like a person that be straight up. And I explained to him, hey, I still want to continue to work, but being that the plan is to move abroad, it really don't make no sense to, still kind of be under that label. And we farming we own thing, as well. I have my stepdaughter as well. So, that was really the plan. But unfortunately, due to events and circumstances beyond my control, we had to take a step back from the move abroad. So, we continue with Walichi Records, but it's our love 100% with North Island Records.
But you said you're moving abroad, so it's still in the plans for, is Versatile going to be a St. Martin artist abroad?
Well, it's still in the plans. But as I say, right now, just to come out of certain situations with my side of the family, like my mom's and certain things, personal stuff, we're dealing with that. So it's not to say, okay, next month or, but it's definitely still in the plans because there's more opportunities abroad as well, music-wise. And for me, there's a certain timeline for me as well. But my stepdaughter has the world in front of her.
Oh, yeah, definitely. She does.
She's a real talent for
Because how far did she make it in the...
she was a finalist.
In the French version of The Voice.
Top 2 of the French version, Voice Season 2, France. Correct.
Yeah, because I remember you were saying off air that she's right now away.
Yeah, currently in New York. They're doing a lot of things, man. A lot of things behind the scenes. She's homeschooled, still, keeping the education, of course, first and foremost. But of course, chasing the dream. She's tremendously talented. So,
So you made a transition from rap, because we all know you from 40H. Just back in the day, just recently you put out a picture.
Our generation.
40H. You post a picture the other day about growth. So you had a Patron bottle in your hand. You stooped down with the
it was wild.
the debt. So what made you go through that transition between going? Because first there's a growth transition where you're like, okay, well, I don't need to portray myself as that, and then there's also you. I won't say that you removed yourself from hip hop, but you kind of went to the next lane. Yeah.
Well, the first thing that started to happen is I became more conscious. More conscious in the sense of, starting to look around at my surroundings. Surroundings is one thing, but also musically. Hip hop is a genre that what they portray mostly and what they highlight mostly is the violence, the drug game, the bling bling, the I got the flyer shoes and stuff like that. And, that was one, and I started to realize, like, yo, we slaves, man. You understand? We slaves to be going out there buying $300-$400 pair of shoes. Case in point, I was in the store in December, and I can't remember the name of these shoes, Zoom or whatever they call it. I asked them, man, how much for these? I'm telling me almost $300. They say, yeah, bye. I got bills. You understand? And that's just one of the factors. Like, we spend so much money and time trying to look fly, and for who? You understand? Yeah. When you're dead, you don't take none of it with you. They dress you up in a nice little suit, they put you down in a casket, and goodbye. You understand? You become a memory to everybody else. Nobody remembers, but you remember how fly that dude was? You don't really take that with you. And then, excuse me, aside from that, I grew up in a let me say violent environment, from home base with my father, having being an abusive alcoholic, domestic violence, and then being out in the street, seeing certain things, being around certain vibes. I just didn't want to be a part of it. For me, after a while, I get tired. You understand? And then becoming more conscious, reading a lot more, viewing a lot more YouTube videos about certain different things.
Yeah.
Then I had my son, so I was like, okay, what example do I want to set for my son?
Yeah.
You understand? And then the music, I just fell out of love with the hip hop because I couldn't keep up. We from a generation that it was all bars.
Yeah.
You understand? It was lyrics. You had to come original, and you had to have content in your music. Nowadays, these man is mostly about melodies and singing a bunch of trash. Let's keep it real. And then I couldn't keep up also too with the tight pants. These guys are extra tight. It's one thing that you can have, your slim fit. You know what I mean? You grown man, look with your slim fit. It's cool. But when you and your woman have competition to see who with the lineage jeans the fastest and thing is a problem. So all those things was elements in it. And just growth, maturity, with over time. I mean, it's impossible for you to stay in one place for so long and not grow and develop. If you have a problem, you have to check your surroundings, your peoples, because nobody around you is telling you, you gotta level up. You understand? You hanging around the wrong circle. If 10 years ago, for example, you were selling nicks and dimes, and you still selling nicks and dimes, start not quit that job. Straight up.
But do you see yourself just recently, Tekashi 69. I don't know. You're familiar with Tekashi 69?
A little bit.
He's a fan favorite. Well, not a fan favorite. A Jerome favorite artist here. Do you?
Favorite artist, but
Okay.
I appreciate the new artists. Okay?
Do you see any similarities between what he went through and what you transitioned out? Because he was doing the most. Do you see like similarities between like?
Yeah, there are similarities. He on a grander scale because they really was on some extra level stuff. And these days, what we didn't have, thank God, gotta say thank God, we didn't do it for the gram. We didn't have Facebook and Facebook was just starting to come in the scene around them eras, but we didn't have a phone readily available and everybody just filming and videotaping everything what's going on. You say the wrong thing right now and you guaranteed 9 out of 10 times somebody's phone was on recording and boom, you get trapped in the system. So for me it's just, again, I get tired of the being around the same thing. I'm like, I want some new money, you know what I mean? I want some legal money. I want just like to enjoy life on a whole. I had friends that one never left St. Martin. I had friends never even been to Anguilla. You understand? And I'm like, how can you never be to Anguilla? Thank God for my mom's, she's Dominican, so all the time we travel to the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, take me to New York, send me to North Carolina. I get to experience these things on my own too. So my eyes open up to, a different side of the world, and unfortunately for a lot of my friends, they never get to experience that.
I got a question pertaining to music, right? We asked a few of the artists that came here, what is what's the bigger genre, hip hop or soca? And based on what you explained just now, the reason is clear why you made a transition, right? But honestly, I thought you made a transition because soca is a bigger genre within the Caribbean.
In the Caribbean, yes. But you see, soca is we thing. Like how reggae music is still a Caribbean thing, even though it's dominated by Jamaica. That's the home, and soca dominated by Trinidad. But what you can't stop is the fact that it's a Caribbean thing, and everybody now has their own. Like Dominica have their bouillon, Saint Lucia have the dennery, and we could still vibe on the same rhythm, and everybody could jump up to be music. In terms of hip hop, another thing was, we was emulating and basically copying what Americans was doing. I grew up on BET and MTV. So what I see there, I was like, wow, I gotta get a do-rag then. Boom, put on the do-rag. Oh, the man wearing long tees, I gotta get a long tee. And I mean, what maybe a lot of people don't remember, or whatever the case is, I was one of the first people here to rock long tees. I remember Outkast's mom used to go record by Outkast. Outkast's mom used to say, what he doing with a nightie on? Fast forward time, Outkast wearing long tees, everybody wearing long tees, you know what I mean? But I was always up on the game because I had one of my brothers in New York, so I said, send me these things, and before the time, but we trying to copy what other people doing, and had some deep conversations with my boy Omari Ferrari, Benny Demas, who is also Akon's official DJ, and it was like, they don't understand why Caribbean people so want to be American. And try to, try
and vice versa, I find.
Yeah, vice versa, but we find more Caribbean people
emulating America.
Case in point. Take one Caribbean man, put him in the States, 1 week, he come back, and he checking like, but dude, where you live? But you can hear the difference, and Americans can hear the difference. So as much as it had sound good to we and our ears, to Americans it's like, okay, you sound alright, but you ain't really making the grade, you know what I mean? Then take this into consideration, there's millions of wannabe rappers out there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Who are already in the States.
Yeah.
And you coming up with a little Caribbean island, you can't really relate to what they're going on because let's say, for example, Georgia. You have Atlanta, you have all these different, cities and everything like that. So you could bubble over there.
Yeah.
You could sell CDs out your car and make millions. I used to stand up on front street, on back street.
Yeah, we
hustling
remember
my
that.
CDs.
Yeah.
You understand?
I remember that.
And
The last
I ain't
bus
make no
stop.
millions.
Yeah.
You understand? Because St. Martin's small as well, and we ain't got people like that.
So you would think that soca is more a lucrative genre within the Caribbean and hip hop?
Definitely. And soca is growing because now I just got booked for Atlanta.
Yeah.
Last year I went to Ibiza. I was in Holland. I was in France. So there's those pockets of people now. Those people loving the vibe of the Caribbean.
You performing for Marshall now.
Yeah,
You just
performing
got
on the Marshall show.
Yeah.
And,
that's big.
So it's we thing.
Yeah.
And when you see our next thing was. Because I always did a little bit of reggae. I had a little Latin remix of the whole song by
Based on your name
Egyptian.
alone, people should understand.
Yeah, exactly.
A little bit of everything, but with the soca, I find, look, this is the happiest music in the planet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because MCing at events like in Tantra back in the days and so forth, used to stand up there, MC, do my thing for my little money. And then one night it hit me like, looking around, you got the people in VIP. You already know, 30 people in VIP, 2 people paying for all the bottles. You understand? And everybody up there like acting so bougie and they get bouncing to the music, but they ain't really happy. You know what I mean? You look around, they got a man them by the bar. You got this one, and you got small little pocket of white people and so forth, and having the time of their life in the middle of the dance floor. Everybody else just there like watching. She got time, what he got time.
Well, based on what you say right now, I could make a conclusion that First is a complete soca artist though.
I would say soca and world music.
And world music.
Okay.
So
What
like,
you consider world music?
World music is anything with a rhythm, and I don't have to, because for me it's not always about jumping up. Because I have a song called Love You Down, where it's more of a storytelling, you know what I mean? Because I love to tell stories at the end of the day. That's what I love about hip hop. You could tell stories, you know, because it wasn't always about being gangster and talking about that. I tell stories about, things I went through with my father and so forth. Real stories, you know.
You said something earlier about we mimic American culture, and then now there's a big soca movement going on the island. You have one of them, the soca every month. What is it?
The pure soca.
Pure soca that you do every month, right?
Yeah, we was doing it every month. Now we try to do it like every 3 months and so.
Yeah. So. You say Trinidad has their version of soca, Dominica has bouillon, St. Lucia has
the Dennery.
The Dennery. Are our soca artists making our own sound because we have the groovy and we have the power? Are we making our own sound within that, or are we also following what is coming out of these?
Well, to an extent, because that's the thing with soca, it's one rhythm, it's one vibe. Because reggae, you can't split that. And now, like for example, my boy Dimitri, he creating his own sound.
Okay.
So if you want to call it the Demi Redeem, or as they had say the Locry.
Okay.
For example, we have several artists on the back, and that's Sunday Rhythm, Big Up Skeleton, North Island, and Dizzle. So no, we are starting to slowly but surely create that own lane for ourselves. But soca is worldwide, is international.
Because for me, I remember the first song that you came out with. I can't remember the name of the song. The first song that you launched as a soca artist.
Getting on bad?
No, the second one actually. You had changed up the song completely because I was away and I heard it and I was like, yo, verse is changing soca on the island, because I remember when Bungie Garlin had dropped Differentology, and that was just a different sound in soca in general. And then I believe after, because that song that you came out with, I can't remember the name of the song.
Soca Jumbie, or
it had a same vibe as Differentology, and I was like, yo, verses is.
I wonder if it was Jump.
I think it was that, and I was like, yo, verses change up the game, because now, for me, you were the upper echelon of soca artists on the island, and then everybody follows suit, because now King J with Shenseo. I don't think that song comes out without verse changing not only the sound but how soca is done on the island, because I found soca was I didn't think that we had soca on the island, because I think it was very much calypso, jam band, these kind of rhythms. And then when you came out with that song, I was like, yo, verse is onto something. and then I heard the whole landscape change. So how do you feel that you may have been, because for me, you were the catalyst. I don't know if you feel like that you were the catalyst of that change in the sound, but how do you feel like I came in this thing rapping, I jumped into soca and I changed the game immediately?
Well, I was one of the players, I mean, definitely Red Eye Crew played a major role. My boy Skillet, I'll forever be bigging him up because he has a vision that's immense. You understand? And Dizzle Bueno as well with the sound that they creating, and we realize, yo, soca is the engine. You know, Red Eye Crew still does a little bit of everything, and they still does the reggae and the dancehall, on a level. You understand? But the soca is we vibe, man, and I commend everybody for jumping in the scene as well and continuing to raise the level, because no one man can do it on their own. You understand? Because if the door opens up wide and only one man go through, the rest of the world checking like, yo, with the rest, what's going on? We want more song, we want more of this vibe, So imagine it was just Bob Marley that came out, and reggae would have dead.
And you know, right? As a hip hop head, right? You're considered locally one of the hip hop icons in Samantha.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
The reason I'm saying that is because when we had a few guests like Ron, the first person he wanted to big up was Verse, through NPay, but Verse. He said, especially Pay actually, he was saying, listen, a lot of people don't understand what Verse is doing on the island. He started off as a hip hop person, right? He made a transition into soca, and he topped the other soca heads who in the game so long. Are you aware that you're such a big icon in hip hop and in soca?
Well, I mean, I just, when people say these things, I'm very humbled by it. I appreciate the awards and everything. I mean, I know the amount of work I put behind of it, but I don't sit there and be thinking like, he's the man and stuff like that, because for me, there's so much more to do and so much more to go. And all I want to do is like the next generation to come, help them and get them. If I can't make it all the way, I'm willing and helping anybody to make it to where I can make it, you understand? So I'm just humbled to be given the opportunity. I know it's a lot of sleepless nights. I mean, all those nights in town with my boy Brad in 48 Studios. I mean, in Holland, I recorded by Outcast when Outcast had unauthorized studios back in the days. Went to Holland, recorded in Holland as well. And I've been around. I've been doing the music a while, you know what I mean? So, what people see now is like, you ever see the picture with the iceberg? And what people see is like the top of the iceberg.
And then the bottom, exactly.
That's what kind of people seeing now, it is what it is, man. But I appreciate everybody, who does recognize the work and everything like that. I'm humbled by it, but for me, there's so much work to do. So we just gotta get it done.
I could attest to Verse being one of the most humble musicians, in my opinion, locally in Samantha, because at times you probably won't even know or work for other company at the time, and we were promoting them as local artists.
Okay.
And some artists, I'm not going to call them, wasn't as humble as Verse in terms of coming up to me, yo, we promote our local artists. It's like, but they want to know who behind it and those things. I went to Verse. First, take pictures, we were promoting, of course, with the demos. Take pictures, upload it, no problems, you understand? Other friends of mine tell me, when you were promoting other stuff too, they came to you and humble vibe, you understand? So I appreciate that as a local as well, because, again, I don't want to put no locals on the spot, but they gotta understand the game as well, you understand? Don't feel because you're in the music game that you can't be humble enough to try work with other people or be humble with pictures, those stuff.
Well, for me, it's like ain't nobody in Samantha making millions yet. You understand? And I have to pass you as an entertainer, and I have to pass you the road and so forth, and you know what I mean? What's the sense? And even if we was making millions, for me, it's like, if you trying to do something, I gotta remember that, at one point I was at the starting line, and I wouldn't be here without other individuals in the game and so forth to help me along. And for me, it ain't really nothing, I mean, all the time you got people that send me messages, hey, what do you think about this? Can you listen to this for me, please? Give me advice. I have to be straight up and real. And I tell them, I say, listen, I might hurt your feelings. I'm gonna be real with you, but it's only constructive criticism that I'm giving you. So you can either take it, hate me for it, or take it and appreciate the fact that I'm telling you that, because I'm not gonna clap for you and say good job and then turn my back and say, but that sucks. You understand? I ain't gonna be no hypocrite like that, you know what I mean?
But one thing I got asked, like earlier, saying the whole you left North Island and you started Walichi Records.
Mm-hmm.
But like, and one thing I heard on St. Martin, I don't really hear on St. Martin is like artists talking about like publishing and like masters,
owning masters, and
so, like, how is that set up on St. Martin like for like a local artist? Is that
St. Martin don't have no industry. That's why you know, my fiance, she's French, so Walichi Records, and I mean a lot of things we getting is from France.
Okay.
You understand? The SXM, for example, that I'm signing up with right now, because I was under BMI. I don't know how they made me a member still, because I don't have no American green card and so forth. So it's a little issue to get out of that situation, because you have, it's all about timing. Like if you signed up with them, let's say January 21st, you have to wait till January 21st to basically be let off of BMI to sign on with another royalty collection agency. So all those things, that process we went through for the publishing as well, deal with bigger heads in France, because the French side, France has the thing set up properly. You know, that's why North Island is on the French side and they have the thing set up properly. You notice Dutch side don't really have an official label.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, is there? You think there's a way for something like that to build on St. Martin, like the Dutch side at least?
We can build it. You know, it's gonna take a lot of work. You know, it's gonna take a lot of work and honest people as well. And then we need to get a lot of the tips and everything and see what falls under the Dutch law. First of all, and then what falls under the Dutch law, then you build your label and so forth accordingly. Because in Holland, I think it's Boomra or something of that nature. And that's the collection agency for Holland. Because BMI, ASCAP, SACEM, all of them is the same thing. It's just who collecting in what territory.
What region,
St. Martin and the Caribbean on a whole, it's very difficult to say you're collecting royalties off a radio station and TV station. So we base a lot of our income on performances.
Okay, I was checking that. Okay.
Because well, moving off of that into because we speak about revenue, and I'm talking about, for me, it's going to be more like, okay, you did the rap, although you did hip hop more when you were younger, and now soca as an adult. Which genre did you get the most support from the local?
Definitely the soca.
Yeah.
As I say, it's we music, so it ain't hard, because again in the hip hop it was we young generation and the hip hop heads who was into hip hop and say, yo, I like that. And then again with the hip hop it comes, you know, some man you know, he think he the best, but you know I bother. But the man I'm saying in the closet, they ain't even coming outside to tell and challenge anybody, you understand? But with the soca now, it don't matter the person from St. Kitts or Ruba, wherever they from, they vibes into that soca. And definitely the soca has been more lucrative.
So we're going into 50 years of Carnival this year, which is a big thing. You know, we had the whole ordeal with the license plates and whatnot. The next drama now is about the boot holders outside of the village. They have to conform to some regulations, which I believe they should have done, because for me personally, it does look a little tacky that this person look like this and that person look like that. Although it for me culturally it holds some significance, because you get different views of how people want to do their business. But I believe in the uniformity, but they're only allowed to be open till 12 o'clock. Do you think? What is your opinion on that? Do you have an opinion?
I just honestly have not too much opinions. A lot of people sensitive. You know, for me, because I guess a lot of people they couldn't get in the village, so they say, yo, let's create a vibe outside, and then that ain't a bad idea.
Which I think complements. Yeah, it
complements it, and it brings a whole different vibe to the whole area and to the whole season. And we could say, yo, and we could say, yo, in Tongue, if you don't want to go in the village and enjoy that show, let me say there's a Latin night, and I ain't Latin, but I want to hang out. You understand? I don't want to be in the area where the vibe is. I could chill out outside. You know, so closing it down till 12 is kind of like the same thing they did to the village. Because once I go, the village used to be open till the wee hours of the morning, 6, 7 in the morning. Boots still open. You know, that was we thing. That was we vibe. I understand. You know, for security reasons, you don't want to allow it to go to those hours. Totally understandable. You can't afford to pay police officers overtime. I understand. You understand? But you kind of kill we vibe a little bit, because when casino workers leave their job 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, because in the village they used to go. Because my sister used to work casino for years, and Carnival time, yo, she showing up in the village 3:30, 4 o'clock and going till 7, 8 o'clock. What do you think about that, HB?
I agree with Verse. It gives a different vibe, especially for those who can't make it in the village. To me, like, the whole idea of Carnival is a festivity, right? So you just want to enjoy the vibe, right? If you can't enjoy it inside, why not outside? But also I agree with you in the sense of if you're going to do it, let me just do it in a more farm way. You understand? it can look kind of weird if this person got something looking like this person doing something like that. So I think everything should be uniform. But the idea of having a booth outside of the village, I don't see nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
I don't see why people individually complain, because end of the day, if they come for a show, that's what they're gonna go for.
Yeah. Facts.
You understand?
Facts.
Again, the whole idea about carnival is everybody enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
So whether if inside or outside the village, for me, it doesn't really matter. You understand?
Cogly.
Yeah, for me personally, I think that's kind of like is dampering down the vibe of carnival, because like I know back in the day, the village, everyone had to like build their booths and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it expresses everyone's creativity. It shows everyone's uniqueness. And I can understand for like corporate reasons they have to make it more uniform outside, but inside. But the outside now, like I still like they shouldn't clamp down on that too hard, because like you still want to see the individuality in the booths. Even though some people might say it's shanty or whatnot, it still shows personality. People going to those places, like if you speak to like some tourists and whatnot, like they want to get a vibe of St. Martin. They don't want to have a replication of what they see in the States or somewhere else. Like if you see a little shanty booth with a little tarpaulin or whatever, like they ain't really caring about that. They want to be around the vibe.
Question is also too, how they know I could afford a more nicer thing, and I'm doing what I can with what I have in a sense.
And, like,
but
it just me like how I see them, like on my job, how I interact with them, like they more want to get St. Martin of St. Martin. They don't want to get like how to say it, the corporate image of what the caribbean should be. They want to experience it the real way,
But in Trinidad, for example, around the Savannah, the booths, they set up the booths, not boot holders, but the government or the Carnival Foundation, they set up the booths. So all of the booths look the same. So there's uniformity in how the booths look, but everybody design the outside of the booth, so you can get the creativity. It's just that the government provides it. I'm not sure who provides it, but the booth is provided in Trinidad. The booth is provided, and then you fix it up how you want to fix it up. So
that the structure is uniform.
Exactly, the structure is uniform.
I agree with that. And in terms of what Coke you just mentioned, I don't think that if tourists come in St. Martin, right, the impression is that our vibe is like a shanty looking thing. I don't think that's an impression that we should give out as well.
No, but I ain't saying
I understand what you're saying as well, but I mean, in regards to what Christian was saying, if you have a guideline like this is what we want, but you could be creative with it. I think that's ideal.
I don't disagree with regulations, but like over regulation is what kill a market.
Definitely.
Like, the people who actually participate in the carnival itself, they're like, how to say, like I ain't saying they're giving up a lot, but they just like they put in like that's part of their family history.
Because they're not corporate entities, like you were saying.
They put all into it. So like if you over-regulate it, then you set the bar high, so you can't enter. The people who's actually in it, they can't enter it.
Correct.
So that's what I feel about it. You got regulation, but not over-regulation.
So there's something I wanted to get into, but I just want to get your opinion on. For me, the biggest show for Carnival is going to be the Marshall Montano show.
Why?
Because it's the first time he's back in like 15, 16 years. Who come in recognize? I don't know if that I know if that leaf drop yet, but who come in recognize? I know it's not Buju come in recognize. I think for right now the biggest show is going to be the Marshall Montano show. Do you? I know that you've been slated to perform. There's a small minority on the island that is like, nah, we ain't supporting that because the man do whatever he did, and he wanted. There's a lot of rumors about that he wanted government to apologize and all of this.
To come on Culturevate to clear up.
Don't worry, I working on that cause you gotta help your boy out. You gotta come. So, for me, opening it up for Marshall is like the biggest thing for SOCA artists.
Definitely.
So
it looks good on the resume.
It looks definitely good on the resume. Do you have when you got that call, were you like, nah, I really don't want to do that because
Nah.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Appreciate the consideration. Big ups to SCDF and everybody involved in the show. I mean, hey, who wouldn't want to be on it? I don't have the issues. Like, honestly, only the people that was really there on that day or that night when the situation happened with Marshall could really say, hey, XYZ, and okay, he deserved this or don't deserve that. It's been years since that. I mean, did he ever say anything like factually disrespectful about St. Martin?
I've never heard him say it, because I remember in 2000, I think it was 2008, 2009. I went to the Marshall Montano concert in Anguilla.
Yeah. That was a couple years ago, man.
No, because he went. That was the second time. I went. I think
Yeah.
it was 2008, 2009. I went. I was working Scotiabank at the time, and I went with some colleagues, and he was like, at that concert, he realized there was a lot of St. Martiners there, and he says that he loves St. Martin. So when people would say that, yeah, he bad talks St. Martin, I was like, I've never heard. I used to live in Miami, so Miami Carnival is something has been growing, and he used to be in concerts there, and even there I never heard him say anything bad about St. Martin. So when I heard people saying like, oh yeah, the man bad talk, the island, he shouldn't come, I was like, I've never heard it. And like the people that I know that speak to him, because I have a cousin that's a promoter, and he spoke to him about it, and he didn't even say anything negative about St. Martin. So like, you know, these things are taking on a life of its own.
They got some people that take things out of contents too, and you know, the small-minded individuals. Like if I go to a next country, right, and the police rough me up, for example, I'll be upset with the police officer, that individual who roughed me up or mistreated me, and I say, bah, you know, officer so and so, you rough me up, I ain't like you. You understand? I don't mean I don't like the people. You know what I mean? And so honestly, I don't know. I don't get into them things. I'm like, yo, you know what?
So where we go?
Who I don't want to go, don't go. It's
so
okay.
what can we expect? Because you know you have SOCA Rumble, you're doing Groovy and Power. Yeah. So what can we expect for? We know where we're expecting for Power, for Groovy and Power. But what can we expect for? Are you doing something special for? You gonna give us a Culturevate exclusive? You doing something special for the Marshall show? Or?
Well, I honestly, I haven't reached that stage of the planning because you know I'm also trying to take part in the road march competition this year.
Okay.
So you know, I have all these competitions because the Marshall show, it's another performance, but I mean, don't get me wrong, it's gonna be a mad performance, you know, and everybody knows me for bringing that powder, so you know that's definitely like, don't come dressed nice because you know I'm gonna dirty the place.
I know about that.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I go to the back.
Yeah. Now you making sure powder all over. You can't get away from that because it's gonna be a massive show. You know what I mean? So I haven't reached that stage of the planning as yet because we got, you know, several shows lined up before that. So you know we focus on one thing at a time, and of course the big shows, I gotta defend the crown for the Power. You know, trying to, you know, of course do the Groovy and the road matches there as well.
Yeah, busy.
Facts.
So I know you're getting into the fashion game. You just put on your nice suits and whatnot. Just recently, Gucci put out. I don't know if you saw it.
With the face with
a black face, with a black face. One, what do you think about that? And two, what do you think about? Do you see it is necessary that we as not we, but artists, when something happens like that we're vocal and we let the general public know that this is not okay, that we're not going to be supporting this. So let me just simplify the question. What do you think about that campaign that happened?
First of all, you know, you really gotta go behind the scenes. You know, again, everything to be taken out the contents, and you don't know. You gotta ask the designers and like, yo, what was your intention behind this design? Do you think this was a good idea? Like, where was your mind frame at to create this? You know what I mean? Was you purposely trying to stir up something out here? Again, Gucci is a brand that rappers been singing about Gucci forever. Yeah. Why are you singing about Gucci in the first place? Why you don't embrace your own brand or your brand from your, you know, peers? You understand? And instead of bigging up these brands, they don't give you $1 for it. Whereas if somebody locally or you know what I mean, a next artist or so forth creates a brand and says they gotta beg these artists to promote, these international artists to promote or wear their clothes. You go in the store buying your whatever Gucci costs and you buying it for so and rocking it and got them in your songs, free publicity. Yeah. So now when they put out their stuff, you're just like, oh, I ain't wearing this, I ain't wearing that, but you know, I really don't really have no feelings towards these things. So for me,
but would you buy Gucci? Would you buy a Gucci slipper now, knowing that?
I wouldn't buy a Gucci slipper in the first place. That's facts. Like, you know, I don't go with those trends of high fashion because I don't see the sense for me personally. You know, as a father, as an individual, okay, as a person that's seen in the Dominican Republic, where my mom has she house, literally like less than 10 blocks is a whole nother neighborhood, you know. And I mean, my mother is like in a nice suburban area, in less than 10 blocks. The kids have to walk for water every single day.
Oh, that's rough.
You understand?
Yeah.
Barefoot every day. We used to give them clothes. Kids couldn't fit in our clothes, and they got the biggest smiles because they're like, yo, I'm rocking this forever. I can grow into this. And I'm like, but I'm old. You understand? So I don't like buy into those things. Like, I go in town, I see a nice slipper, it could cost $20. I go in with that. You understand? I ain't into the like Gucci this, Gucci that. Like, it's a name brand part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And somebody making that stuff in Thailand, India for whatever for $1, and you over here spending $100 on it. You understand?
HB.
I know you said that. I still gotta ask this question. You think that the high-end brands owe hip hop a great debt because we're going into Bugatti, Rolls Royce, Bentley, Rolex,
Louis
Ralph
Vuitton.
Lauren, Gucci. I could continue and continue, but like you mentioned the song, it's free promotion, right? A lot of these high-end companies wouldn't be making the amount of money
If it
as a
was for
fact
that,
if
yeah.
it wasn't for hip-hop.
Facts.
Do you agree with that?
Facts. I mean,
And how do you think that hip-hop should be compensated for this?
well, them brands will never say, hey, I need to give you XYZ because you know what? You know what they'll turn and say? I never asked you
Exactly.
Yeah.
to mention me in your song. I was doing just fine, making my stuff for my people, them, and who could afford it. You understand? Because they never came up and said, this is only for white people or this is only for black people. You chose to buy it. You wanted to be the one rock. And the crazy thing with these like hip hop people and stuff like that, they rock something once. And like, yeah, me ain't wearing it again. I saw one time Nick Cannon had this thing he was going on. His Air Force Ones at the time had a little crease. And he was like, yep, just bought a new one because I ain't wearing this one again. I'm like, what?
I did that one a couple of times when I had first started working. As soon as I get a little crease in the Air Force, but I don't do that no more.
It's crazy. I mean, I guess because I've seen how people live and stuff like that, and how, you know what I mean, sometimes I hand down things to like my cousins and them who have less. You know, I have more of appreciation for material things, like,
definitely.
and I don't put everything into material things either. I'm not going to buy those $300 pair of shoes, for example, knowing that I ain't making that kind of money. Now, granted, if I'm making the money and I could afford it, it's my money. You know what I mean? I could spend it however I want. I ain't knocking that, but I ain't gonna throw it away because they get a little crease. You know?
Definitely.
So currently, Spike Lee and T.I. is trying to boycott Gucci and Prada, right? So based on what you just explained, you don't think that the boycott will have any effect on these high-end brands?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Because we had a situation before with Cristal. Cristal was one of the biggest champagnes.
It was in every video,
Every
music video.
His boy Jigger decided to say, no.
Yo, Frank Cristal,
Yeah.
them homies racist.
Actually went down in
And then he ended up buying Armand de Brignac, which is Ace of
Yeah,
Spades.
Ace of
Now
Spades
Ace of Spades is in all. Well, Ace of Spades is in all these
It's a
videos
high
now.
brand now,
Yeah.
but-
So you don't think it will have the same effect like Cristal?
Does it even matter to us?
It does. It does.
To me, like you know,
to you,
does it
to-
matter to us? Like, so that mean because of that, for example, because they had a time when they allegedly said that Tommy Hilfiger said he don't make
Correct.
his clothes for black people.
Correct.
And
You know what I mean?
that
And
was
that was
yeah,
a big thing
yeah.
at the time. Cause everybody was like, "Oh, you can say that we've been rocking Tommy and stuff like that." It's
No,
like,
but I think the boycott. I think the boycott stops short. I think the boycott should be. We're not rocking with these high-end brands that don't rock with us. We're gonna rock with our peoples, because
that would make more sense.
black entrepreneurs have high-end brands
facts.
like these couture shops.
Off-white.
Off-white. Yeah, but that's still but isn't that part of Louis Vuitton?
No, Off-white is
Off-white.
Virgil Abloh.
Okay, just Virgil. Okay,
Yes,
yeah. So we're gonna stop supporting these brands
and support your own
and support our own.
Yeah,
Because I think like Spike Lee and T.I. does a disservice because they're saying, okay, we're going to boycott this, but we're not going to say who we're going to support, and we need to start supporting people that look like us. Because, for example, Killer Mike has this documentary, this mini documentary series on Netflix called Trigger Warning, and he says $1 lasts in the black community 6 hours. in a Korean community, it lasts 28 days. So every dollar spent in a Korean community, it circulates in that community for 28 days. In a black community, it's 6
So that
hours.
tells you a lot.
So like our leaders and sorry to say, a lot of our leaders that we look at are hip hop artists because of the influence of American media to us. They say they don't preach that. They don't preach like, you know, buy local, bank local, do.
No, they
There's a small
doing
movement,
They
yeah.
are doing it on a big venues like Breakfast Club and those things. In my opinion, they're really going hard in the black movement. But Caribbean ways, I think we should follow suit. You understand?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think we have sorry not to cut you off, but I think we have something wrong with the black culture on a whole. Can I remember like once ago, for example, Front Street and Back Street always been selling shirts that say St. Martin.
Yeah, fact.
Back in the days, nobody wanted to wear a St. Martin shirt, you
Fact.
understand?
Yeah.
And before Mitch from Saint 999 did I Love SXM, I was doing I Love SXM shirts in the alley when I had my barber shop. This was back in 07. You understand? And then you start to see, what, that nice shirt, man. Let me buy that. And then people start to become more pro St. Martin, and now you got, you know, you got the I Love SXM.
Yeah.
You got like for example, he got on a locally made shirt.
Yeah, BU,
You
one
understand?
generation.
You got countless, and now when we come up with our own shirts, for example,
Don't forget to send the merch to Culturevate. Send the merch to Culturevate. We'll rock it.
For example,
Joshua,
when we come up with
Bowers.
our shirts pertaining to our songs every year. Everybody buys into it. Everybody proud to wear it.
Exactly,
You
yeah.
know, so it's like, yo, we got to be supporting we own thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Listen, I just when I go to Europe, there's a store called Primark. Right?
Yeah.
That's my store. Yeah.
Yeah. But they got good
That's
stuff though. They got good
but
stuff
this
for
is
cheap.
what I'm telling you,
Yeah.
it's like it's on the budget friendly
Yeah,
side.
definitely.
But you can't tell me my clothes don't look good on me. You
Exactly.
disrespectful.
Yeah.
You understand how you could tell me you could go buy, like for example, they got, you know, simple T-shirts in high-end stores cost you $50. I come with my little $8 shirt. My $8 shirts are looking better than yours. It's a conception and a mental thing that we got going on in we head. You know what I mean? And what does my appearance in terms of how much my jeans cost and so forth have to do with the wealth of knowledge in my mind?
Yeah, definitely.
So,
But we
speaking
don't.
of
Yeah.
merch, speaking of merch, this is the opportunity to promote yours if you have.
Well, definitely the Champion Winer shots hitting the streets by the beginning of March, so we got those popping, and then we working on the, can't reveal the name of my SOCA, our SOCA yet.
Oh, okay.
Competitors watching.
Boom.
Nah, just joking. But definitely we'll be flooding the streets with all of those. You know what I mean?
Just make sure you send some to Culturevate.
Got you, man. I got
Definitely,
you. I
definitely.
got you.
Yeah. We locally merch friendly.
Definitely. That's how it should be.
Yeah. I've two more things to talk about before, because I see the producers there telling us, you know, we gotta wrap it up. This year you're going up for your third, is your fourth, but if you win again, that's gonna be your third time winning for Groovy.
No. I've never won the Groovy.
Oh,
I came
it's
first
Power.
runner up in the Groovy in 2017. If I win this Power again, it will be four.
Four in a row.
Yeah, it will be four in a row.
4 in a row. So that's like MJ numbers. Would you
Yeah.
would you yeah manga rigs. Would you retire from Soca Rumble? Because for me, like, you know, the best thing for the NBA when MJ came around, because Michael Jordan basically saved the NBA. For me, we have the Kelvins, we have the Kenyos that are carrying the torch. But for me, and this is not me, you know, like suck it up, but you are, for me personally, you are the MJ of the Soca Rumble, because Soca Rumble happened for 4 years. 4 years, and
This is the fifth year of Soca Rumble now. Yeah.
and you got, if you win this year, it's gonna be 4.
Yeah.
So would you be like, nah, I done with that, like I've won it like 4 times, like let me go and do something else?
To be honest with you, definitely competition wise, you know, it's like 50-50 right now. Competition wise after this year, because you know, I never really liked competitions to begin with, but the platform was created to help boost the music and boost all of us in the music, so take full advantage of it. But for me, it's the music internationally and that groundwork doesn't solely depend on competition. So it might be, the last of competition for me, but music-wise, you'll always get that.
Is that a Culturevate exclusive or?
You heard it first on Culturevate.
I gotta stop saying boom too. Like I gotta find another catchphrase, And you were on Dirty Sham the other day, and you spoke at length about your father, and that he suffered from. That you were in an abusive environment, but it was also abusive environment because he abused alcohol. How did that mold you to be who you are right now? And do you think that if you came up in a more loving environment, would we have versatile today?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Because I really do feel your environment shapes you to an extent. And then until you gain a certain amount of knowledge and you make choices on your own, you basically is like water. You know what I mean? Whatever you put water into, it can mold into that. But you're not subject to that because you can change after you gain the knowledge. My situation was, my father was very verbally abusive, never physically. We did have our few physical fights, but police officers always coming by the house. It was always nice every night. It was 3-4 o'clock fights. It was that whole nine, and I mean really traumatizing for a young kid coming up. And this is from time for as long as I can remember, till up in my teens, late teens, and that's why I found peace going out in the streets, finding the homies, and me and the homies have a lot to relate because this one never see father, this one see father once in a while, and it's like the same situation. I ain't really got no man to look up to say, hey, this is how you gotta do this. Let me shape you into being a better man than myself. And we miss that a lot in the Caribbean on a whole. A lot of fathers, a lot of men just want to lay down with a woman, have a child, and bust off. You don't have to agree with the woman. You don't have to stay with the woman, but you have a responsibility to that child to be in that child's life no matter what. Me and my child mother is not together, but every other day I try to pick up my son. Every other day. It costs me a lot of gas. You understand? We gotta go from Concordia to Middle Region, and wherever we gotta go football, I take him to football, I take him swimming. He's going to be 6, and he could snorkel, he could swim, plays football, he loves hiking, he's busy. But I take pride in that because I know I didn't have that. And I'm not one of those like, I didn't have that, so you should have that. Nah, it ain't his fault, it wasn't my fault. Circumstances is what it is. So I just take it and I say, okay, you know what? This is what I was missing, so I'm gonna give you everything that I was missing in my life.
Well, I think that's good, and I think it's very important that you speak about it, and because I noticed that you take every time you get an opportunity to speak about it, you speak about it because we're missing a lot of fathers in the homes that like exactly what you're saying, especially in the Caribbean community, that we have fathers that have multiple children, multiple women, and I think it's a message that needs to be echoed because the generation that's coming up behind us, and even our generation, needs to understand that you need to be in your child's life, even though the mother and the father we're not together, but so long that that child understands that he's coming from a loving environment, that he's also able to reciprocate that to his child, because it could have been very different for your son.
It could have been I don't see him at all, or be a weekend dad that comes, picks him up, maybe pick him up and drop him at my mother, and then go about my business. But I have a sense of responsibility, and as I said, most of my friends, they wasn't seeing their fathers, so we all found that common ground. Go into the prison and ask them, how was your relationship with your dad? Trust me, I bet you at least 75 to 80% of them will tell you I ain't had no relationship with my father, or I never see my father, or I don't care, or we ain't had a good relationship, and we be missing that. And then in the streets, what we find the the bigger OG, as you want to say. You don't want to be like he, but he handle any money. Nobody don't mess with him. He's the lion in the jungle, and that's who you want to be like, and that's who you be like, yo, try to get your game from, and then you continue the cycle. So at a certain point, when you become conscious of what you is, who you want to be, you gotta like pull the brakes and say, okay, all right, stop. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna keep repeating the same cycle. There's no reason for it. It's a bunch of nonsense, honestly, when a man could come and say, well, my father wasn't there, so what my child expect? Like, you expect a slap, because, you know what I mean, you mad in your head, because if you have the ability to think think of how you was feeling at that point in time when your father wasn't there. Think of how that child will feel that, you know, there's a sports day and the father never show up.
Yeah.
You understand? Think about that. Think about the fact that a child grows up without a father, especially for the young men. We gonna turn to the streets, Biggs.
Yeah,
You know, turn to the streets, we gonna hold ahead where we partners them, and we ain't got nobody to say, yo, what you trying to go do there? You trying to go, what you say you want to go? Thief a pus? But come, let me cut your tail and, go walk or, you know what I mean, instill certain things inside of you to help you become the person you are. Like I had a conversation with one of my friends one time, and they was explaining to me how that person had friends that both parents was there, and the parents were not college educated, didn't go to college, barely even finish high school, but the kids are doctors, lawyers, etc. Because they made sure to instill a certain, element in them, like, yo, you gotta follow your dreams, you gotta go to school, be the best that you can be, and just drill them. And I sat down and I was like, yo, that's deep. And I'm like, I think if I had a father that was more there for me and more, with a head on himself, I could have been further in other areas of life, not only music. I turned to music because it was free. You understand? It made me feel good, and I get to do all my other reckless stuff at the time, and went through that situation, which I wish to an extent still I didn't, but it made me who I am. So I would never take back who I am.
All right, we getting excited about wrap up, but I gotta ask one more question, right? Top 5 soca artists. It could be the best of all time. The top 3 soca artists, and then this is a hip hop based show. Top three artists ever.
Who you playing in your car right now?
Yeah, who you playing in your car right now?
Oh man.
Okay.
Yeah. Top 5 or
Top
three?
Top three.
Soca, local or international?
No, it doesn't matter. Like, who you think?
Well, international, of course, Marshall, Bungie, and I'll put Kess up there too.
Okay,
those are top 3 soca artists. I mean, they give dynamic shows. For hip hop, boy, Biggie gotta be up there.
Baby.
Biggie, Tupac. You make that one hard because you can just give me 3 though.
Yeah.
You can just give me 3. Alright, good. Thanks a lot. Because then it would be Biggie, Tupac, Jay-Z, Nas, and Eminem.
Don't let you get Eminem.
Don't like Eminem?
I mean, Eminem ain't a person, like, for me personally, like, he's not a person I'm gonna be bumping in my car, like.
No, but something for everybody. Like for me growing up, it was different aspects, because like Biggie, I would never take nothing from Biggie. When I listen to Biggie, the OG in me want to hop out and just I want to do some crazy stuff. You understand? But I'm older now, so I just take it for the lyrical ability that he had, and his wordplay was just immense. He could paint the picture for you. Now from Tupac, I would put like Tupac was a better more rounded individual, because he spoke about everything. He gave you Brenda's Got a Baby, and then he would tell you how he'll shoot you up at the same time, and then he would act, and but he was conscious as well. Then Jay-Z is again flow, rhymes, but those guys, only Biggie, Jay-Z, they only had that street knowledge. Tupac and Nas now gave you more conscious knowledge.
Yeah, but Jay now giving you that talk. Jay giving you that talk. Jay
giving you like that knowledge and telling you about empowerment and stuff. No, but the old Jay-Z, it was all bravado and braggadocious. And Eminem for me again, is more like lyrical ability and stuff like that. That was
I think that's a conversation for another episode, because in Reasonable Doubt, Jay's first album, he said we don't lease the car. We don't lease the car. We buy it like you should. Like, but anyway, that's a question for Verse. Anyway, appreciate you, Verse, for coming out.
Man. Thank you.
What you bumping in the car right now?
Honestly, instrumentals. Working on the next song.
Okay. Anyway, Culturevators, thank you for tuning in. We had a very good thank you. Love you. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. We're gonna be here all year. Head of Rhymes.
Don't forget to subscribe.
King Verse in the house. Verse and Tweezy, please believe me. Alright.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, the cover. Shout out. Culturevate. Shout out Culturevate. It's on the cover.